Hello folks and welcome to another install video. Today I'm in Carden Park and today I'm finishing off an upgrade on the sound system in what's called the Carden suite. So let me bring you in and explain what's going on. So let's just bring you in here and have a look at the room. And here we go. Quite a big conference room. So today I'm sorting out the Bose sound system. I'll explain a bit more in a minute. But here we go, this is the small stage they got here. That's the room with all the TVs. And that's where the tech stuff is in there. Right, let's explain what's going on. Right, I can't do anything with the rack at the moment because it's locked. So I'm waiting for the keys to get into the rack, but there's the rack there. So inside the top there is all the AV equipment, all the video switching for all the TVs, for the matrices and stuff. I don't know what's happened in there, that's all changed since I've last been here. And then down the bottom here we've got all the amplification and the DSP. So it's a Bose system, 502As I think, which are the mid-highs. And then we've got 501 or 502, I can't remember what they are, but the bins. I'll bring you in now and I'll show you some pictures here. I'll show you. Right. There you go. Got the 502s, 502B, more 502s, and then they're all round. Right, and then we've got some new screens here. Right. So I'll show you in there in a minute, but until I get the key I can't do anything. But anyway, we've got the room splits into 3 different zones, so the room is able to be used on one big room as it is now, or separated into 3 areas. So they got usual sort of corporate sort of rooms, they got partitions in the middle, and the sound system's set up so it's in separate positions, separate zones, sorry. So I got called in 2 years ago in 2021 because the whole place, obviously during COVID, nothing was getting used. And there must have been a power surge or something, because the original Bose, I think it might, I can't remember, I'll put down in the description what it was. The original Bose DSP just failed, so that left the whole sound system completely useless. So I had to come in and replace the DSP, and because, as you know, if you know anything about Bose, especially the Bose Professional commercial speakers, if you don't use their DSP for them, you're just not going to get the best out of them. I mean, some of them are great anyway, right? Some of them aren't so great. 502s, they're not actually that bad, to be fair, so they're good speakers. But in this case, they needed the Bose DSP. Right, now I've got the door open. See a bit more what's going on here. So here we have the ControlSpace processor, one of the new amplifiers, and these are 3D old amplifiers. There's an MC2 branded Bose. This one here no longer works, it's got a fault light. These two are the only ones working, but the fans well and truly had it. So today is to remove these, go through all the wiring, make sure the wiring to speakers is okay, and replace them with some more of these. But first of all, we've got a modification going on here. This was my doing. This thing at the bottom, it's kind of just hanging in there, look. Oh, broke it. That feeds all this stuff here. So some speakers in the corridor to the left of the Carden suite, where they've got a bar and all sorts of stuff. Got toilets, a volume of toilets in the corridor, both running off that little amplifier. Why would you bother with a volume for that? The volume of the toilets I get, but and then all this. So I'm going to keep that, that's going. I'm going to take the signal from the corridor and run it into the rack, and then I'm going to use one of the new Bose amplifiers to power this to keep it all neat. And this is the controller for the system. That's going to be taken out. That's something to do with the old matrix sound, the video, which they're no longer using. But this is all be coming out. Got to reprogram this as well. Alright, I've just been trying to figure out what's going on here. So let me bring you into this box of fun. It's a very strange way of doing things. Let me see if I can explain it. Alright. So as I said before, we've got some toilet speakers. We've got two sets of toilets in the corridor, which is that side. And then we've got the corridor itself. And this switch here, so you can see that relay. So we've got hotel music, so basically that is music that's going around the whole hotel. They've got corridors, you know, toilets areas where they've just got background music playing. And then function music, so that function switch then takes the feed off that amplifier. So all of this is for that. So I'm going to take all this out, apart from the toilet volume, and just basically run all off one amplifier down there. And the music that's coming from the hotel, I'm going to put for an isolation transformer and feed into this sound system to hold this. So you can put the hotel music through this and into this, which is what I had on my job sheet anyway, but I've not opened this. So we've got a mains relay, mains power coming in here via a 13 amp plug hanging out the back of this rack here, look, going up there, up here to this. It is what it is. It's not the way I would have done it. I would have just bought me in to integrate it into the rack in the first place, but there we go. It seems like a lot of work. I mean, they've had to rewire all the ceiling speakers. They've taken all the Bose speakers out in the corridor and put some other speakers in I don't know the brand of, so yeah, gonna leave this for the minute and let me bring you into the rack. Right, as you can see at the top there, you've got the Bose DSP up there, and we use an amp link feature which Bose have, which is that there, to link them together. So there's another two amplifiers to go in this rack. They're the old MC² amplifiers. So a lot of this is existing wiring, and I've adopted it into this wiring here, basically to get them up and running. So as you can see, the rack itself, let me bring you into this horror story down here. I have no idea what's going on. Why this has been done like this is terrible. It's basically taken a balanced signal and shoehorned a pair of Phoenix connectors into the phonos of this 100 volt line amplifier here. So this is all got to go, but all this was all nicely loomed up. It's all now just in a mess. So you need to tidy all that up as well. But yeah, it's not the tidiest of racks, but I'll see what I can do with it. An absolute mess. It wasn't like this when I left it. What's this all about here? It's just, you know what I mean? It's just botches after botches that other people have been in. I put this little switch here just so I can talk to it on my laptop, but it's not great, is it? I mean, what's that for there? You know, it's just, I love this. Basically just spliced one of the feeds to, I think, one of the sets of the amplifiers, just a random set of amplifiers. Or was that a feed from the front of the cabinet? I don't know. Just, yeah, what? God. But anyway, yeah, we've got to pull these out. These are working, but the let's bring the light in there a bit. These are working, that one's not, that's in protect, so that's not doing anything, but that's driving a pair of the MB4 subs, and so was that one. So they've basically been running the last 6 months with no subs. That's how long it's taken to sort this job out, and that does a pair of 502s. So yeah, these are all coming out. The fans on these have failed. These two working ones are screaming away. It's just not very nice. So this is one that's been, I installed this at the end of 2021, and this. So these have been happily working. So we've got some more of these Powerspace amplifiers going in, but first of all I'm going to make sure the outputs of these are fine, because this one went into protect, and the hotel manager reliably informs me that some wiring had happened in the room and some of the speakers had to get taken down. So I'm going to measure out all the lines, make sure they're all good before I put some very expensive Bose amplifiers in and there's still a fault. So who knows, yeah. Let's bring you in here. So the 502s, MB4s on the roof. Right, I have updates. So I've got the amplifiers out. I'm just going through the lines. I think we found out why one of the amplifiers went into protect. We've got a dead short on the middle set of MB4 subs in the room. As you can see, the old impedance meter, that shouldn't be reading that. It should be reading about 8 ohms or 10 ohms. So I'm going to go and investigate that now. Everything else has been fine apart from the polarity, as some of them have been back to front. I've got a feeling that whoever took these things down, when they redecorated these subs, the MB4s, whoever took these down, because they took them down to repaper, have just caused chaos. So I'm going to go and look at that MB4 sub in the middle of the room there. That's got a dead short on it, so I'm going to have a look at that now. Let's just have a look on top. Oh. That'd be why, folks. Bloody hell. Oh. And that wasn't set up. I've literally just done that. Oh my God. And it wasn't even plugged in, look. Oh my God. Right, there we go. Plug it back in, tone. There we are. Cool. Right, just got those last two to do. And then we're on to the 502s. I just don't trust the wiring after seeing the way they are. I'm going to go through every set of speakers. There we go. We've got a meter reading now. Perfect. Cool. Right, done a bit more. All the new amplifiers are in, as you can see. Not wired them all in properly yet tomorrow because I haven't got crimping tools to do the ends. I'm going to braid them all up, but I've just plugged a few in, as you can see there, just to test. Making sure everything's talking. Like I say, it's not tidy yet. I spent a lot of time figuring all this out. That's all the corridor speakers. Tidied this up a bit, took that old box out. Got to reprogram this tomorrow, just didn't get around to it today. But yeah, all these speakers in here are a right nightmare. Two of the subs are out of phase, as you saw just before. That one was shorted out, which is probably what caused the amplifier to go pop. And just generally angled them all. Some of them were just barely plugged in, the cables on the back. Just a right mess, to be honest with you. Absolute mess. Unfortunately, that's what happens when people who don't know this equipment get hold of it. So back tomorrow to finish off, get this all done, tidy up the rack, get all the dust out of it, braid all this stuff up nice and neat for the speakers. Yeah, that's about it really. With the design software up, hopefully I'll get that tweaked tomorrow as well. Right, on my phone, but for you guys, you'll see me in a minute. Hi folks, welcome to day 2. Not done a lot of filming today, I'm afraid. I've just been trying to crack on. I was here quite late last night getting a few things tied up. So let me bring you in for a bit of an update on what I've been up to here today. It's all working, which is good. So I'm not sure if I brought you in yesterday to see this, but all the amplifiers are in, all powered up. Look, the software is all sorted out, it's all where I need it to be. The mixer down there is just for me to feed into the system, just to listen to some music while I'm working today. Other updates is, this is all the TV stuff, which has nothing to do with me, but this is what I've added. They're a cheap unit, but they work really well. They're a bit of a no-fuss unit. HDMI in and out, and they've got a phono in and out, which just takes the audio off the HDMI. That's all been tested and working, which is good. What else we've done? Relabeled the main control unit. I'll talk the client through this at some point, but it's now running. It's running quite complicated because the room is split into 3 pieces. You can see there's 2 divides. There's one divide there, another divide there. So there's one room here, one room there, and one room at the end. So the system's designed so it can be used in either or you can use them all independently. And there's wall sockets in each room, so you can plug a mixer in or a mic or something, or put a radio mic rack in here. There's inputs on the stage. That all comes up on here. And there's also the corridor speakers, which is this stuff here. So this is what I've been up to. You might have seen in the previous video there's another volume there and a switch there. That's all gone. It's a little tighter than it was, but the transformer's there to take the 100 volt line down to an 8 ohm signal. Then that goes down this mic cable into a DI box, past a DI box into the rack. But I've just, rather than put the DI box up here, I've just sent that. It's a cheeky way of doing it, but it works. This is all the corridor speaker stuff. Got to put the box on that now, lid on that, and get rid of that. What else have I done? So yes, that's all working. That's all controlled off here. So I'll explain this in a bit. Alright, if you watched the video earlier on, you'd have seen that this was a right mess in here. The old MC² amplifiers have gone. The old 100 volt line tower amp at the bottom's gone. This is one of the last things I need to do now, is tidy this wiring up here, remove some of those chassis because they're not really needed. But you can see the new speaker wires, oh, that's a bit taut there, I'll sort that out. The new speaker wires are all in for all the amplifiers. They're running off, what is it, AmpLink. So the first 3 amplifiers run off AmpLink, and the bottom amplifier is running off analog. This is a Bose thing. And you can see the DSP unit hiding away back there. Again, I just need to tidy up the wiring for that. As you can see, it's damn sight better than it was. I'm going to, again, before I go tonight, tidy up the wiring, the video stuff up there. Just, it's not my remit, but I'm just going to tidy it up. So there we go. Yeah, just need to tidy it. See, things like this, there's tie wraps there. So, yep, getting there. All good stuff. Right people, I'm done for the day. System's working. I've got to go and get a ladder. Unfortunately, I've just noticed one of the 502 speakers. In fact, I'll just bring you in. I don't know why, it was definitely working before. That one there stopped working, but the electricians have been at it and it's got a bunch of Wagos on the back, so that's probably why. But anyway, so we're all in, we're all wired, amp rack's in. This door is normally shut and it's locked, so the rack's in a bit of a state, but it has been here for 15 years I think. This is some original wiring. These go to ports around the room, which I found and re-enabled when I did the initial sort of half rebuild in 2021. Yeah, the video equipment's working, audio is working at the moment. I'll give you a quick demo. Let's just go to TV or TV sound, and we've got Passengers playing at the moment just off my laptop. Don't ask me why I've got it on my laptop, but we have. We've also got the background music playing as well. So yeah, we're all up and running. Corridor sound system's also working. Corridor system is, we've still got an independent volume for the corridor speakers. The corridor system is completely independent to this. So if I turn the background hotel music down at the main suite. So these are the corridor selectors here. Got one, same inputs, basically doubled up the same inputs, 1 to 6 on those two. And then this is a completely different zone, which will be outside in the corridor. And it says mic 1, corridor 2, 3, etc. And then we've got hotel music, which is currently playing out there at the moment. And that all goes through. It basically means that if you haven't got any music put on in here during an event, you just turn up hotel music. And as you can hear, the music will just play around the entire hotel sound system throughout the hotel. All the corridors and restaurants can now be played in there. And that's what that little transformer in there was for. Also goes into a DI box. It's just an extra form of isolation. Yeah, so that's it. So yeah, it's been quite a tricky one this, because it's unusual with the rooms being able to separate out. So just doing the software, the programming of the software was took me a bit to get my head around it again, because it's been 3 years since I last programmed ControlSpace stuff. So it took me a bit of a while to get my head back in it. But yeah, the amps are all in. I've had a bit of volume through the whole system. It's Sounds much better than it did with the proper EQs. Some of the EQs weren't correct in it, but yeah, it is what it is. It's I'm a big fan of Bose equipment. Some of their commercial stuff is rubbish, some of it's alright. These all 502s and these MB4 Bass units in this room, they're alright. You just got to put good power behind them and the right DSP. When you've got all that, and it's set up correctly, like I'd like to think it is now, it does its job. So, I mean, these speakers, some of them have been here since the early 2000s, because some of the 502s on the wall have still got the XLRs on the back, and then the rest of them have got speak on and binding strips. So yeah, yeah, well, chuffed with it. I'll probably have to come back one day in the week just to give the conferencing manager a bit of a tour on how it all works. Even though I'm going to put together a comprehensive a list on how it all goes together, how it all works. I mean, it is, for me, it seems logical, but I understand that it's not everyone's. Not everyone thinks like me, technically. So trying to make it as easy as possible to work out. Anyway, I'm going on. Right, that's it for today. I'm just going to do that 1502, then I'm tidying up and going home.